Well, if you haven't heard about it, you should have heard about it. Earlier this month, Congress passed one of the biggest bills of all time, $1.9 trillion. It's all part of the American Rescue Plan. And you have to wonder, what does that mean for you? Well, we've got some help today. Jim Lineweaver joins us of the Lineweaver Financial Group. And, of course, he is the financial quarterback. Great to see you again today.
It's great to see you. Thanks for having me.
So where do we start?
Well, the first thing is people are always looking for their checks, right? When are they going to be coming in the mail? And some are getting debit cards and different things. But for individuals, if they make $75,000 or less, they'll get a $1,400 check because those phase-outs start at $75,000 of income. And if you're married filing jointly, the phase-out starts at about $150,000. And for those people that make less than that, they're going to get a $2,800 check. And then also dependents have really increased. They've actually gone up to $1,400 per dependent, as well as an unlimited amount. So if you have 10 kids out there, and all of a sudden you're going to get $1,400 for every dependent that you have. Quite a bit different than the one that was just passed in December.
So, I mean, this is really when you do need a financial guy because, I mean, it's hard to figure out. You just named so many things there, and we're just talking about individuals there. And how about small businesses? They have an opportunity here also.
They really do. They added $7.25 billion to the Paycheck Protection Program, and that means that that's in addition to all the other stimulus that they had provided in the past, but the deadline's still March 31st, which we understand is not going to be extended, so small businesses out there need to jump on board with this right away. And also what this new plan does is it's going to forgive the actual money that they spend if at least 60% of the money is used to support payroll expenses, and the remainder goes to things like mortgage, interest, rent, utilities, and other qualifying equipment that they can purchase.
So how have the markets reacted to all this?
So far this year, it's been pretty favorable. If we look at all the stimulus that's not only come 2 times last year, the most recent one in December, and now this one, they're thinking that this money is going to be getting into the economy and obviously help those companies that maybe didn't do so well during the COVID over the last year, but their revenue and their earnings are going to be better in the second half this year. So the market is responding to that accordingly. As a matter of fact, there was a company called Seeking Alpha that did an analysis on the stimulus that was done last April, and they said the majority of that went into the market. So we're thinking that a good portion of that's going to go into possibly the market, but another big chunk is going to go out there and help those companies do better than they did last year, and that's why we're seeing some of the growth in the market that you're seeing today.
Okay, we got a lot of people spending money out there. People talk about inflation, but with this much money and this many people that are spending money that really haven't spent money like this before, there must be some negative outcomes to this also.
There could be. The more money the government prints, that sooner or later that's going to have to be paid back. And also as interest rates go up, which the Fed right now has said they're going to kind of keep relatively low until 2023. But as interest rates would go up in the future, that means their debt obligation goes up, and it's going to be harder and harder to pay that back. So when we see these things like inflation, like lumber prices doubled in the last 3 months, according to CNBC. You've seen gas prices go up a lot. That's not really yet because of inflation. That's really a supply issue, but they are worried towards the end of this year we're going to get some inflation because we could see the highest GDP in over 30 years as the recovery gets back on track and people get back to work in the second half of this year. So we're cautiously optimistic.
So biggest in 30 years, that means we're out in some waters that nobody's really experienced before, and we really need somebody like you to check this out for us or look into the crystal ball to help us.
Yeah, that's why we have a whole investment committee, and we try to be as proactive as we can with people's portfolios and adjust them accordingly.
Okay, folks, so this is it. If you're concerned about what all this means for you and your portfolio, or you just even want a second opinion is always a great thing. Give Jim a call. And, of course, don't miss him. You'll see him right here on Fox, the Financial Quarterback, and that's leading into the Chris Wallace Show on Sunday mornings. I want to thank you for coming in and giving us a little look into the crystal ball and helping us out today, Jim.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.